Hi, this is Fish on Fridays. This is the Fish. Hi, Fish. And it's Friday. We're in downtown Newport, Vermont, and we're interviewing people about things that they're interested in and asking them about solutions. Real people and real solutions from people who know what the problems are.
Volunteering with the FFF, the Feline Friends Foundation.
Ah, yes.
And we have a terrible, terrible stray, abandoned, and feral cat population in the kingdom. We did get a grant from PetSmart Charities, and we're trying to trap and inoculate and spay and neuter a lot of the cats. Volunteers to help with them, and some of the ones in Newport have to be relocated because of, the revitalization. That's kind of up furthermost on my mind right now, or top of my mind right now, because I'm actively volunteering with that right now.
How do you notify people that
we
you'll be
have
trapping?
door hangers before we trap in an area.
Okay.
We have door hangers we put on all the doors in the neighborhood, telling them we'll be in the area spaying and neutering strays and ferals. If yours is owned, we're asking you to keep it in during that time. Once we spay and neuter them, we release them and we tip the ears so we know not to get them again. So if someone has an unneutered, unspayed female or male and they don't heed the door hanging, worst case scenario, they get their pet fixed for free. So if we put out a trap in a crisis emergency situation in the winter, it doesn't go more than 30 minutes without. We don't leave them. In the summer, we might leave a trap and come back in 3 or 4 hours. In the winter, they stay with the trap.
Okay.
Yeah. People drop them off at barns, and no
Yeah.
farmer can afford to spay and neuter
Right.
and inoculate 40 to 70 cats.
Right.
So over the winter, we helped the farmers, and they were very appreciative and very, very, very beholding to us. And the cats have a better life. Even barn cats, even ferals, if they're not fighting and having litter after litter, it's better for them.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's my thoughts today.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so here's a gentleman that has just down here at the Fish today. He's got a couple comments.
I just would love to reduce our dependency on fossil fuels. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Hi, this is Marina. She's here today at the Fish on Friday. And what are you concerned about this week, Marina?
Well, I'm horrified that the Israeli attacks on Gaza, they're absolutely unacceptable. It's over 700 Palestinians have been killed. Most of them are civilians, and over 200 children. And on the other side, only 2 Israeli civilians have been killed. The rest, which are about 40, were professional soldiers. Gaza is one of the most densely populated places in the world. There is no place that you are not going to kill a civilian. It's like dropping a bomb on the Lower East Side. It's that heavily populated. That Israel leave those people alone. Stop the embargo. Allow ships to get through. And pull the IDF out of Gaza. Let the people live there. Just pull them.
There were demonstrations all over the world, huge demonstrations, including huge demonstrations in this country last Saturday, which may not have been well covered by the mainstream media. The bulk of world opinion has turned in favor of preventing this atrocity that's occurring against the people in Gaza all over the world. And yet the U.S. government continues to not take a strong stand to save the lives of these people. I find that Americans should be outraged by this. Our government is essentially going against the bulk and huge bulk of world opinion.
As a Vermonter, I cannot do more to condemn the Senate. The Senate approved of this atrocity unanimously, and that only 79 senators actually signed approving Israel's attack on Gaza. But the world is against this.
Yeah.
The U.S. is in the UN. The U.S. is the only body that has voted to approve the Israeli actions. But yeah.
Well, thank you, Marina. Thank you very much. I share your concern.
Okay, but we need to stop the bombing.
Yes.
If you meet Senator Sanders or Senator Leahy or Warren, don't let it pass. Pull them on the carpet for it.
Thank you. And then over here, Terry's over here today, and I think She has a sign that relates to the same issue because it's just really a current thing right now. It says, "Stop dropping bombs." Bombs are awful. No, in my lifetime, I have never been through a bombardment. I know people did during the Second World War, and they have many other places, and it is something that we cannot imagine how horrific it is. So Terry, do you have a couple words to say about?
Yes, I do. I don't know what the American people and the rest of the world are thinking. All these bombs dropping on children, women, old people. They bombed a hospital.
They bomb schools.
And they bombed schools.
Yeah.
I'm not. Hamas is not one of my favorites. I know they do despicable things. So do we. But the idea of Israel going in there and just indiscriminately dropping bombs on just ordinary citizens, it's just too much for any one person to handle.
Yeah, you know,
Like, there is no humanity left.
two wrongs don't make a right.
No,
There's no
they don't.
justification that if
Right.
you know one or
I don't
one
go
or
for
two.
the missiles that Hamas
Yeah,
is dropping
right.
as well.
Right. We need for the bloodshed to stop, but the
Yes, we
bloodshed
do.
is mostly you know, I don't know, it's 800 and something to 35 is so vastly. The pain is falling on the people of Gaza, and our hearts go out to them, and it needs to stop.
I'm very disappointed in our Congress. They all voted yes to support with money and a lot of money and weapons to Israel. Don't they have enough? I mean, look
Well-
at the inequality here.
Someone pointed out on the news this morning that the weapons that Israel is using have been paid for by our tax dollars.
Yes.
So the blood is on our hands, and I don't
Well-
know, you know, that's me and you and all of us who pay taxes.
That's right.
The blood is on us for the death of these innocent people.
I don't want that being done in my name.
Me neither. Me neither. Well, thank you very much,
You're
Terry.
welcome.
So here's Jack with another sign. NEK 99% is not a religious organization, but we do encourage everyone to express their opinions, and actually faith communities have been extremely important in the past in helping people achieve rights that that are due to them, such as the civil rights movement. The faith communities were very instrumental in that. More recently, faith communities are joined together to protect the environment as stewards of God's creation. So there are many good roles for faith communities, and Jack has a sign that says "Make a Profit" with a little pun there. Love God. And what are the kinds of values, Jack, you think that could be promoted to help make a better world?
Well, just the basic Ten Commandments and the basic do no harm, which is kind of a pagan ritual. It's so simple. I don't know. We've got so many issues we're trying to cope with, and I just feel like if I don't do something, I'm just aiding and abetting all the nonsense in the world. I know I'm not supposed to be in the world or of the world, but there's just too many issues and too many people that are following the lies. They're one mouth together, and it's like exterminate anybody that doesn't look or think like you. It's terrible.
So I think some of the basic values that many religions share, such as loving your neighbor or doing unto others as you would have them do unto you, are things that people should take to heart and have a little more empathy towards others.
Yeah, there's hundreds of religions. It's religions that divided into religions, and you got 522 different kind of so-called Protestant Christ
Same
religions.
Love by Macklemore.
It's all the same thing. It doesn't matter what you call yourself, or if you don't call any religion, you know what the difference in right and wrong is. And it's not making profits out of money, but making profits for people. And we need a good speaker to come step forward. Good leaders that know the truth and can speak from their heart, not from their pocketbook.
Well, thank you very much, Jack.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Tom, and I know Tom. He's a great guy, a hard worker. He's currently running for Orleans County Sheriff on the Liberty Union ticket. What are the things about having to deal with a bureaucratic system that have made it hard for you to improve your life now that things are going a little better?
Well, when you're poor, there's all kinds of barriers to getting ahead. You don't always have transportation. You're always missing something or everything. Transportation, food, clothing, shelter, medicine, dental. There's no extra money for recreation at all. That's a luxury you just can't afford. A lot of times you're having to choose between food or medicine. A lot of people have to choose between food for the baby or medicine for the baby, and
Have you found it's hard to deal with bureaucratic offices like
very hard. You try to
Social
call
Security
SSI, and you're waiting on the phone forever. And a lot of times they put you on hold, and then hang up on you, and you're sitting there on hold, and you don't realize you've been hung up on.
I would just like to mention that lots of poor people buy their phone time by the minute too.
Yeah.
And you know, sitting for a half an hour on hold is going to cost you big bucks.
It
Big
eats
bucks.
it all up.
Yeah,
You
you
just-
don't have that money.
Just don't have it. You can't do it.
Right.
And some people don't even have a phone. They don't have an address, and they have to leave their tent camp in the woods and find their way to a payphone and try to scrounge up a few coins to make a call to try and get disability so that they can get some sort of help. And it's a nightmare.
Do you have any suggestions for how we could improve things and how we could keep people from being at the mercy of large lumbering bureaucratic organizations?
Either the common people have to get organized and get together and make a grassroots effort, which is very hard to accomplish because the huge lumbering beast does its best to keep everyone divided and conquered. And they do that by keeping resources scarce.
This is a good suggestion. People need to get organized, they need to talk to their neighbors, they need to share problems, and they need to share solutions. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
Hi, so we're back at the center now because I actually ran out of battery power, and these two nice, wonderful young people agreed to come over here because they have important things to say, and we don't get to hear from young people enough. So now your comments were, what were you talking about before when we ran out of battery power?
I was talking about education and like standardized testing and how kids, how they're placed in their school programs. I just think that we should be more hand in hand with the children and parents because, when you're doing, like, for SATs, just because I was out of high school recently, and SATs, I would have bombed them. I didn't take them because I was nervous about them, and, certain colleges will only accept you because of your SAT scores. I think that, maybe they should look into more of your academic history on how you did with certain things and what your interests were instead of just basing it on standardized testing.
So you feel that testing doesn't actually, it actually just selects for people who are good at taking tests,
Right.
and doesn't really bring out and show the talent of a lot of people whose talent may be in other areas. How do you think we could evaluate people? What would be another system we could use for a lot of people if we really had to present some evidence of their creativity? Do you think something like having them do a project, or?
Right, maybe they could choose, what they're interested in, what they can, some kids like to do things that they're good at. So if they picked a project that they, that they wanted to do and showed their talents through that instead of just a test, that just basically shows how much information they've retained, really. And I think that would be a lot
I think
better.
retained and then probably promptly forgotten.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know if that really means that what you're going to do in college. Colleges are actually now looking for kids who are creative, who are able to think outside the box, think of solutions to problems. So now that we have ability with computers to share things electronically, it would be possible for students to share projects that they've worked on with a lot of colleges simultaneously. And that's a good suggestion. Hey, colleges out there, are you listening? And then we have this fellow over here, and got a peace button on his hat.
Right?
Yeah. And
I just had a few things to add to like what she was saying. Well, when kids like doing their projects or something, like they have to show their strengths and their weaknesses, or now I'm nervous now at the camera.
No, that's okay. That's okay. You're doing fine.
Right.
And
But like kids need to like learn at their own pace, and they don't. And like the way the education is structured right now, like it pretty much just pushes everyone to like move at the same pace, and they can't, like, not every kid can do that. And I know they have like disability classes and like other like paras to help people like keep up, but like some people just really can't. Like they just need that extra time in order to process the information. And creativity, like the kids, they just, you can't force it. Like it comes when it comes, and just, I don't know, yeah, it's like writer's block kind of. And if you try and like push it too much when a kid's struggling, it's just going to make them that much more aggravated and not want to do it.
how do you feel about your teachers? Do you feel they're kind of stressed to the max when they have to get everybody ready to take a particular test, and they all
Yeah.
have to pass the test?
Yeah, like
and-
every teacher I've ever had, like, is like weeks leading up to like big tests, they're just stressing and stressing, trying to cram as much information down your throat as possible.
Right.
And then like when you can't recall that information because you didn't really learn it, it was just kind of forced. That
Yeah.
it's the same way. Like
Right.
writer's block, it's in one ear out the other because you don't truly understand what's going on.
There's a controversy about something called the Common Core right now, and I don't know a lot about it, and I know you guys are out of school, so you might not be encountering that right now, but I believe I think teachers are chafing to a certain degree under requirements to sort of totally revamp what they've been teaching, teach something different in midstream, and basically having to treat every student the same.
Yeah, but like my best teachers that I've ever had throughout high school and graded school, like they were hands-on with the kids. They individually went up to each kid and like took the time to like learn what they were about and understand who they were, and not like Mr. Bishop, Robert Bishop from North Country High School, who teaches U.S. history. He is the best teacher like I've ever had. He, like, even if I wasn't paying attention, he would call me out and like tell me what was going on, and then if I couldn't recall like what he just said, he would explain it to me again, because he knew that I was like a kid that didn't pay attention a lot, and I just studied on my own time to pass tests because I knew that the class wouldn't even help me if I wanted to.
Well, I think North Country did something good with both you guys, because you're both very articulate. You have opinions. You show that young people are just not spending all their time on Facebook or whatever, and that is a wonderful thing. So I think they've done something good with you guys. I appreciate it. Any other comments about anything you'd like to make?
Everyone can make a difference, so don't litter.
Don't litter. Okay, good. Everyone can make a difference. Yeah, that's true. That's the theme of our community day, the 99 Downtown Party, coming up August 9th, which is lend a hand, offer a hand in your community, because we can all make a difference. So thank you very much. Thanks. Thank you. So Fish on Fridays at noon at the Fish, brought to you by Northeast Kingdom 99%. We are an Occupy group, which is an offshoot of Occupy Wall Street. Occupy Wall Street didn't disappear, it just went out into communities. We are a community group, not a protest group. We are encouraging people to speak out about issues that are important in their community, strengthen community ties, and help people seek solutions for problems that they face in their communities.